Welcome to this episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Aric.
And I'm Angie.
We are married with a ton of kids.
We have 6 kids total. He has 3 and I have 3.
My name's Hallie and I love riding horses.
I'm Lexi and I love agriculture.
My name's Carter and I love eating.
My name's Chase and I love lifting weights.
My name's Summer and I love spending my parents' money.
I'm Dane and I love baseball.
Our show is about our blended, blessed, and always a mess life. And our hope is if you find yourself in the same situation we are in, that by sharing our story, all the fun and all the mess, the challenges we are experiencing, it will give you some inspirations, laughs, and community, knowing you are not alone in this mess.
We appreciate you spending time with us. Let's dive in.
This episode is brought to you by Seven's Boutique, an online shop created by 2 sisters, Angie and Jess, who believe you should walk boldly, dress divinely, and know your significance. At Seven's, you'll find easygoing pieces that are cozy, classy, and made to mix and match. Think relaxed pants, cozy sweaters, and lifestyle sets you'll want to live in. Every item is handpicked with purpose, so you can shop confidently, dress comfortably, and walk boldly. Inventory is small and curated, so if you see something you love, don't wait. Visit sevensboutique.com and use the code PODCAST10 for 10% off your first order. www.sevensboutique.com. Walk boldly, dress divinely, know your significance.
Welcome to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess, where it's not a Wednesday night date night. It's actually Friday night, and it is the eve of what would be Hallie's 24th birthday. And so there's just overall like a heaviness to the week, to the month, really, leading up to the big day. But that's why we're recording, and I've made sure to wear my sweatshirt multiple times this week, just as I think about her and remember her in my own way.
There's definitely a heaviness with it being her birthday tomorrow as we're recording. It is a different level of heaviness. You know, when you lose someone, you have all these dates. You have the date that they passed away, or the date that you got the phone call, or the diagnosis, or the holidays without them, all of that stuff, their birthday. And it's all heavy. November's the worst for me by far of the time frame that you actually, lose someone, they pass away. Her birthday is different in that you're so used to celebrating their life when they were here. And it's almost like you have that same level of pressure to celebrate their life, even though they're not here. And this being our 4th time, I don't know if I'm going to get through the podcast.
It's been a rough few days, if we're just being real vulnerable and honest. It's been a hard couple of days for Ange. And maybe,
for a lot of reasons, not just Hallie's birthday, but there's just been a lot going on. And there's this pressure to celebrate them and do it in unique ways. And I was talking to another mom that lost her kid. I'm like, you almost like, it becomes like a pressure to like try to do something different each year or still try to honor them. And sometimes I like question myself, like this year, I'm just being honest, like I actually didn't want to do much. And then it's like, there's this guilt of like, well, like, why am I not wanting to celebrate her? And I think it's just this extra heaviness of this pressure to keep remembering her. And sometimes that part gets heavier and heavier because you have this further distance between when she was here versus when she's not. And none of that probably makes any sense. But I just didn't feel like this, like, I don't know. This year just felt like extra pressure. And I kind of want to just go back to like very simple. And so this week I printed off pictures of Hallie and I put some just hanging on our fireplace back there if you're watching on video. And then I made a same type of thing, this like garland sort of beaded thing. I hung it up in Summer's bathroom with her pictures of her and Hallie. And then I did the same thing for Chase, just simple, like remember and celebrate her. And then our family every year, well, we went before Hallie passed away, but every year we go to Gina Hughes for her birthday. And that is always very special. We went there right after we lost her for her 21st birthday with Lance and Michelle, her dad and bonus mom. And that's when Aric had the whole restaurant sing happy birthday to her. And we did a shot for her because,
she wasn't here for her 21st to do it herself. So we did that. And now here she would be 24.
So we're keeping up with that tradition. And this year I invited my brothers and sisters to join us if they wanted to, which also was like always weird because like you want to include people, but when you're celebrating someone that died, you also don't want them to feel like that they have to go either. You know, you don't want them to feel guilty. Like, well, what if I don't go to celebrate her birthday? Like, is that going to hurt Angie's feelings? And you want people to show up because they, want to honor or remember her. And anyway, like most of my family, I think every sibling but my one sister who lives out of state and couldn't make it are going. And so it's like this like duality that we talk about all the time of like, you feel bad asking people, but at the same time when people show up, it's like, just makes you feel so much joy that here we're 4 years later and everyone's still willing to come together to honor her and celebrate her.
It's that painful beauty that we talk about so often.
Last Saturday, though, she came in hot and she hasn't done that in a while. We actually haven't had any like obnoxious signs from her in a while, which is fine. But Saturday, Chase had wrestling in Sedalia, which is where Aric's from. And
the hometown of Aric Bremer. If you didn't know, still don't have a billboard up.
Still waiting for that billboard.
Come on, people.
Anyway, on our drive there, usually when we're in the car, we're like, call a parent, one of our parents, or we're checking in on kids. And I end up talking to my mom and dad on the drive for probably an hour. And my mom...
I just want to stop for a second. When we say like we're calling, we call it's like from the phone in the car. So like we can both hear. And Angie's mom also has the phone on speaker. So her and her dad can talk. So it's really like 4 people having a conversation. And even if we're at home, like on a Saturday morning, Angie will call and the phone will be on speaker so that the 4 of us are having a conversation, which I think is great because that way no one feels left out.
Anytime you call my mom, she has the phone on speaker so that my dad can hear regardless. The phone is on speaker and you're talking to both of them, which is really cute. And I only do that whenever I talk to my mom. Now I start putting our phone on speaker so that Aric can be part of the conversation because my mom and dad are part of the conversation. So they're on speaker. We're just like BSing about stuff. And my mom was like, did I tell you about Duke, our dog, and this cat? And I'm like, no. And she starts telling the story about they have a dog, a golden retriever. It's an outside dog, and it always stays around the house. Well, a year ago, maybe, I don't even know if it was a year ago, this kitten showed up and they started taking care of this kitten, my brother and his wife and my mom and dad taking care of this black kitten. And the dog never liked the cat. But for whatever reason, recently, this dog and cat connected and bonded, and they're like inseparable. And she was talking about how they've been on these adventures, and then someone calls them, like, your dog is here. It won't leave this fence. And then they're like, well, I bet there's a black cat around there. Oh, yeah, there is a black cat. Yes. They go on trips together and come back. So she's telling us this story. And we laugh because when we were growing up, listeners, comment if you know this movie, but when we were growing up, we watched this movie over and over and over, and it's called Homeward Bound, and it has 2 dogs and a cat that are also on this adventure. It's Sassy, Chance, and Shadow. VCR tape. I mean, we wore that tape out watching. My mom had daycare, so it was an approved movie that we watched on repeat. So she was telling me the story about how she's like, it just reminds me of that movie. And it's just crazy how all of a sudden these 2 animals, she's like, do you think they talk to each other like they do in Homeward Bound? Like, hey, should we go on an adventure? And anyway, it was funny. So I say that in that I hung up from her. And as I hung up, Aric is driving.
I went a different way.
In a part I've never been through in Sedalia. I've always been through the main drag.
Well, here's the deal. I told Angie before we left to go to Sedalia.
Yes, let's talk about this.
That if we had to be in Sedalia by like 8:45, that I wanted to go a little earlier so I could swing by the legendary Papa Jake's Donuts. And
Ask him what his goals are for this
ever
year.
been through Pettis County, you know that a Papa Jake's donut, it's been around like 60, 70 years. It's an incredible donut. Best donut you're going to find. And so to get to Papa Jake's, I thought rather than going out Highway 65 and then coming back down 16th Street, I would go through the heart of downtown Sedalia. And then I would come up through 16th Street on my way back out to the high school we were headed to. And so I ended up coming through downtown, which Angie is not used to. And so with that, I turned onto Main Street real quick. And right when I turned, we were both like, what is that? Like, I had never seen this before living in Sedalia. Granted, that was 25 years ago. But even visiting, a massive mural just off of Main Street. And it was all things screaming Hallie.
Oh,
Plus a cat and a dog.
I made him turn around. I'm like, you got to turn around because I saw parts of it because it was full of sunflowers. And then on one side was a phoenix. So he turns around, pulls in the parking lot, and I take a picture of it. But it has a dog and a cat next to each other. I was
We were just talking
to my
about
mom about. Had butterflies, ladybug. Ladybug's not really like relevant to Hallie, but we've had various experiences with butterflies and the sunflowers and then a phoenix. Like, what kind of weird combination of a mural? It was just so bizarre that it was just like, okay, hi, Hallie. But here's what I want to say. I want to know the story behind this mural. Like, what I don't understand, I kind of get the sunflowers and the dog and cat, but like, why the phoenix off to the right? Like, there has to be some connection or story to, and it looks very similar to what I had in my children's book.
I reached
Feathers
out.
Matter.
Yeah, it really does. I reached out to the city of Sedalia on their Facebook page. And no offense, but you guys were no help.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, we're glad you found our mural. We don't know the story behind it. We have many more murals for you to check out. And we're like, guys, I grew up there 18 years, rode my bike all over that town. Not interested in all the murals. I just want to know who painted that one and why did they paint it. So if you're listening and you know someone in Sedalia and you know why they painted that mural, gotta know. And so the day goes on. We watched Chase wrestle. He did great, won a gold medal that day. So super proud of him.
His first ever. I mean, now he'll say, wow, those wrestlers were easy. But still, like, as a parent, you don't care, honestly, if your kids win or lose. You just want to watch them achieve and do great things and learn from the setbacks. Like, I so appreciate watching their journey, whether it's win or lose. But to see him win, it was cute because he wouldn't want me to say cute, but sorry, he didn't listen anyway. But it was funny because he said, I just want to get this over with. Like, I'm just going to make this match quick. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. Because we forgot our chairs.
First she looked at him. She goes, does that mean you're just going to lay down? And let him
Yeah,
and then
I didn't say that. And also, it was an all-day tournament, and we forgot our bleacher seat. So, yeah, our asses were freaking tired of sitting on bleachers all day. Anyway, he goes to his first match, and like 19 seconds, he was done. I'm like, okay. But I just love to see them, the confidence build throughout the day. And he did win all 3 matches, which he's not done before. So that was really cool. But in between his last 2 matches, we were starving. And so Aric went to go get food. And I had told him longer ago, the lettuce wrapped sandwiches from Freddy's.
So a lettuce wrapped bacon cheeseburger. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. It's so good. So good. So it's still a little greasy. Greasy from the hammers, but
unreal.
Still amazing.
If you like a smash burger, I was like shocked. I was like, all right, if Angie approves of this, let's go try it. And they just take these smash burgers. I got a bacon cheeseburger, wrap it in lettuce rather than a bun. And it was absolutely fantastic. When I was there, I went inside to order and they gave me my ticket with my order number. And it was 117, which is Hallie's birthday, January 17th. I immediately took a picture and I was like, all right, here we go. We've already got a mural with all things Hallie. And now our order number is her birthday. So she's clearly coming in hot today. And yeah, it was a fun trip to Sedalia.
Real quick, though, you earlier mentioned the Papa Jake's.
Papa Jake's, baby.
Donuts.
So good.
And like your goals for the year, do you want to share how many of those donuts that you ate within a 2 or 3 hour time period?
6 hour period. We were in Sedalia between 9 a.m. and we got back at like 3:45. So it was about a 6 hour period. I got a dozen so that I could send several back with Chase and his wrestling buddies. Chase also said those are incredible. And then it was later that evening. We were in the kitchen and Carter was home. And Angie's like, wait, how many donuts did you eat? Sheepishly, because I knew she would judge me. All right. She would judge. Keep in mind, I haven't had a Papa Jake's donut in over 2 years.
Here comes the excuses.
It's not an excuse. I ate 5 donuts. All right. And she's like, 5? Where's your willpower? To which Carter was like, have you ever had a Papa Jake's donut? He's like, they slide down so quick. He's like, I would have crushed 5 or more easily. I was like, thank you, son, for having your dad's back.
Never in my life. I don't think
Chase said they crushed him. He's like, they were so good. I was like, I know they're so good. I keep telling your mom that.
I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying that. I'm sure the donuts were amazing. I just have never in my life had 5 donuts in one.
And as Carter said, and then separately, a couple days later when Chase was here talking about it, as they both said, even Chase said, he goes, they're so light and airy, it doesn't even really count as 5. I was like, thank you, Chase, for also having my back in this scenario.
Yeah.
Also, I then want to point out that the following morning we were in church and somehow Pastor Dave got on a verse and it was talking about willpower. And he's like, like if your willpower is lacking and you eat a bunch of donuts.
Yeah.
And I looked at Angie, I was like,
he didn't even say a bunch of donuts. Like he's like, and you eat a donut instead of going to the gym or something like that.
Several probably. I don't know. I think we heard it separate. But at the end of the day, I thought she was texting Dave. I was like, are you texting Dave before I even come to church? I then texted Dave and his son David, to which David said to me with grace in his heart, as other men support, and you got to find men that'll support you and lift you up, okay? And as David said, you tell your wife there are a lot worse things for you to be addicted to than sugar.
That's true.
And I said, David, thank you for that support.
My mood today.
So,
a ray of effing sunshine is what it says on my coffee mug.
So again,
I know. A
lot worse things than 5 very airy, light donuts. Light and airy. So
anyway, we were exhausted after Chase's win. And when we got home, we didn't sleep very good the night before either, I don't think. Got home and was like, we're just going to take a nap. So you lay down. And also, God, some of our listeners are going to think I'm such a bitch. Anyway, okay, in our bedroom.
No one ever takes my side, honey. I'm not too concerned about it.
In our bed, this is also part of the Hallie sign, so just stick with me. In our bedroom, we have massive windows, and I love them.
I do too.
Yeah, we both love them. Actually, I don't know how long we went without even window
13 months.
Coverings on it because it's just beautiful. But one of my favorite things to do is to take a nap in our bedroom with the shades up when the sun's shining in. I turn on my heated blanket. I don't get in bed, but I turn the heated blanket on so it's warm under me. And then I cover up and I go to sleep with that sun on my face. Anyway, we get to the house.
It's like right at 4:00.
Also, mind you, Aric falls asleep anywhere in like 2 seconds. Starts jumping.
Get it from my dad.
So we go to lay down and it's perfect setting, right? I got the heated blanket on. The blinds are up, and he says,
it's bright.
Don't you think we should shut the shades so I can sleep? I'm like, oh, do you have a problem going to sleep because it's too bright out? Just
full sun. I was trying to take a nap.
Eyes.
Yeah, she's like, just shut your eyes.
Go to sleep. So, of course, he does. But my whole point in that is we leave the shades open. He gets up. You had to go somewhere.
Carter wanted to hang out.
Oh, yeah. You were going to go watch the Mizzou game with Carter. And so you left at 5 and I just stayed. I was still sleeping. And I wake up and I'm facing at the windows. And it was like the most beautiful sunset. But when I wake up, I'm still like half asleep. But I wake up and I just like the words just come out of my mouth. I'm like, oh, hi, Hallie. And then it almost like shocked me that I even said it. I don't even know why I even said it out loud. It was just like, I felt her presence so strong when I woke up. And so those three things happened on that one day. And Erica and I both were like, what is she trying to tell us? Like, there is something that she is trying to tell us. And there were several different things that it could have been. Who really ultimately knows? But she was showing up strong. I even text Chase after he was done wrestling when he was heading back with the team. I'm like, your sister was so with you today. And I shared a couple of the signs. And anyway, I don't know, sometimes I think you have to experience it to really believe it. But he felt like, those were definitely signs too. So.
And he also loved the donuts on the bus ride back. So
Yeah, the donuts for sure.
And so as this week's gone on, we mentioned like it's been heavy. There was a point last week where Angie wrote a birthday letter to Hallie in heaven. And like Angie always does, she's just an unbelievable writer. I hate that she has to share it with so much grief and pain, but just let you read it. And I'm sure there'll be some pauses for heartache.
Yeah, I feel like when you write, it has to be something that's like on your heart. And for whatever reason this year for her birthday, I'm like, I just want to write a letter to her. There's a lot of different times in her life that I've written her a letter, usually on significant milestones. So I don't know why this year I just felt like I wanted to write something to her. Like we said, it's Friday night. So tomorrow this will be posted on our social medias, but I also wanted to share it with our podcast listeners. So here's what I wrote. Happy 24th birthday in heaven, Hallie. Time is such a mind fuck. For 20 years, you blew out the candles on your cake. And for the last 4 years, we've blown them out for you with tear-soaked hearts and a grief so heavy it feels like my body is fighting demons I never knew existed. If I'm being honest, the weight of trying to keep your memory alive gets harder as time moves on. As the distance grows between your living presence and your heavenly one. Sometimes I wonder if the effort even matters to you the way it would if you were physically here. Every day must be your birthday now. And maybe birthdays don't even exist in heaven. Our minds can't begin to comprehend eternal life, soul living, or what forever really looks like. When I talk to you, I often feel like I need to apologize. I'm sorry that your life was cut short, and I'm sorry that you felt that pain, and I'm sorry that you believed he was the best choice. I'm sorry you reached a place where you forgot your worth and how unbelievably beautiful you were inside and out. I'm just sorry. And then I can almost hear you say, Mom, I'm fine. And if I'm being completely honest, you're really probably saying, I got here first, I'm the lucky one, and I'm better than any of you. It's really those of us who love you so deeply who are truly suffering. And I never thought this would be my cross to carry, to lose you. And I never thought that 4 birthdays later, I'd still be standing, still breathing, still planted on a firm foundation. Do I ever want to burn it all down? Take a jackhammer to that foundation? Oh, hell yes. And you know how much I hate this to my core. I hate the shredded insides I carry around. Masked and hard-headed, faith-clinging, purpose-fueled. Mama Bear, you mess with my kid's strength. The kind that rises when someone harms your child and expects you to disappear quietly with the pain. That fire is my fuel now. I'm rambling because grief doesn't come with a full stop. It just usually keeps showing up. I'll carry you forward, messy, fierce, and undone, trusting that God holds what I no longer can, until the day I get to hear you say, see, Mom, I told you I was fine. And until that day, I will stand broken, but believing, because the same God who holds you now is the only reason I'm still standing here. I love you forever, Mom.
So much painful beauty. You're just an unbelievable writer. I hate that you have to write all of this. That sucks, right? Because in the perfect world, she's here and you're writing happy things and writing her letters about what she's going to do with the next year of her life. And that's just not the reality. And so you express yourself in what's just a painfully beautiful way. And
there were, this week it was heavy, but there were some great moments. I had my grief group meet up Thursday night with my we call ourselves broken and beautiful mamas. And Thursday night, don't judge, but I crawled in bed at 5:00 because the grief group was at 5 and Aric was out of town. And it's just so good to talk to moms that are literally in the same boat. And the irony of it in this very small group is 4 of us have kids that have birthdays in January. It's just crazy. And so we're all in this same path of the heaviness and trying to do things to honor them. And it's usually their favorite things and trying to celebrate them still. And, there's things that we laugh about too, but just that connection. So I would just say if you are struggling with any sort of grief or heavy challenges, weight that you're carrying, find people that are going through the same thing, because while it will never fix what you're going through, having that community of people that understand, we don't even have to talk about grief or what happened. We can just laugh and talk about things going on in our life. And it carries a different support level when it's people that know your pain. And so I just can't stress that enough, that there is such encouragement and a level of comfort that you get from people that know the path that you're on because they've been there. So just find a network if you're struggling with something.
with that, I don't think we have anything else this week, but happy birthday, Hal. We are, oddly, I've told Angie this week, I'm excited to celebrate Hallie. And it's weird because she's not physically present, but I know that she'll be with us in spirit. And so we do look forward to that. We do continue to pray for all of you who are in pain. We know that winter can be a difficult time of season, more so than most times of the year. And so if you're really struggling with something, please don't hesitate to reach out to us privately, and we'll try to pray for you there as well. But just continue to be grateful for each and every one of you. And if you guys wouldn't mind, do something nice for somebody this week in honor of Hallie. That would be fantastic for us. We thank you for listening. Hope you have a wonderful week, and God bless.
Thank you for listening to Blended Blessed and Always a Mess. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at blendedblessedalwaysamess.com.
Reach out to us on any of our social channels. We would love to hear from you. Have a great week.